The Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases has decided to place all the cities and provinces considered as low-risk areas under the Modified General Community Quarantine starting May 16.
Nagkaroon ng deklarasyon na ang 37 probinsya at 11 cities kasama ang BARM, sila ay nailagay bilang low-risk provinces, HUCs and ICCs shall no longer be under community quarantine without prejudice to strict observation of minimum health standards. Marami pong mga local chief executives, governors at mayors na nagsagawa ng petition, request at sinasabi nila na hindi pa sila handa para tanggalin ang community quarantine.
Wala na pong lugar sa Pilipinas na hindi nasa ilalim ng community quarantine. Yung nauna pong areas na sinabi natin na wala na pong community quarantine, balik po sila under modified GCQ.
As of now, there are 4 existing quarantine measures in the country before transitioning to the new normal setting, which include the Enhanced Community Quarantine, Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, General Community Quarantine, and Modified General Community Quarantine. But the question is, what are the activities, sectors, industries, and modes of transportation to be allowed under these measures? For the population, both in ECQ and MECQ, everyone are strongly advised to stay at home. But under a GCQ, certain persons or individuals will be allowed to go out except those who considered as vulnerable persons and transmitters. When it comes to physical development, limited outdoor exercise like walking, jogging, and biking can be allowed under MECQ. And in a GCQ, there are some sports activities or events that can be permitted like golf and tennis. On mass gatherings, activities are still restricted under MECQ, with just a maximum of 5 persons allowed to meet and 10 persons for a GCQ. For traveling under MECQ, there will be controlled inbound travel for OFWs and returning Filipinos. And as for public transport, people will only be allowed to commute under GCQ with strict safe distancing. Aside from public and company shuttles, personal vehicles, bikes, motorcycles, and e-scooters will also be allowed under MECQ. Now, when it comes to industries allowed to resume business under Category 1, if media establishments are just partially allowed under ECQ, for MECQ and GCQ, they will be completely permitted as long as safety protocols are observed. Meanwhile, for Category 2 industries, other manufacturing businesses will be partly allowed under MECQ and totally permitted under GCQ. For these businesses, they can also go back to operations under different quarantine measures. These are the other Category 2 industries mostly be allowed under MECQ and GCQ. Also allowed are banks, money transfer services, microfinance institutions, pawn shops, and credit cooperatives, as well as capital markets. For Category 3 industries, these are the sectors that will be allowed to operate. Also under Category 3 are malls and commercial centers, which can now operate under GCQ and partially under MECQ. But for restaurants in any part of the country, keep in mind that only takeout and deliveries are allowed. And for barbershops and salons, under any quarantine measure, they are not allowed to operate. Meanwhile, for these industries, it will be partially allowed under MECQ and totally allowed under GCQ. Now for Category 4, all of this must remain closed like gymnasiums, entertainment industries, kid amusement centers, and libraries among others. Also included in closed establishments are tourist destinations, travel agencies, and personal care services.
Kinakailangan po tayo maging flexible dahil ang ating palantuntunan nga po ay hinay-hinay, dahan-dahan, unti-unti. Kapag dumami po ang kaso, babalik at babalik tayo sa GCQ.
Melelis Moras for the Nation.